podcast contain graphic language. What's happening out there in the ministry? What's going on out there, MGTOW? What's going on, Libertarian? What's going on, all you folks out there? If this is your first time in the podcast, it's a shit show what I run out here. And obviously, so the clock is turning back and they go forward and back and forth and shit like that. So without further ado, if this is your first time here, I'm going to do this little intro that I got here. And let's see who's up there on Saturday Night Live. So here we go, gentlemen. Let's rock and roll this bad boy. What is happening? What is going on, gentlemen? Listen, man. Things are like really fucking crazy right now. So let's put this in perspective. So there was an article that I was reading a couple days ago and stuff like that regarding to this chick. And I read it. And just do not listen what I have to say. Just listen to the article, okay? And then I'm going to put my points here and there, you know? So I want to play you the article, and then you can make your own conclusion, right? And then I'm going to put the philosophy regarding to hypergamy, regarding to economics and stuff like that. So no further ado, let me go out here and let me Google this thing here. And I'm going to play the soundbite here. And this is an article by the New York Post. And according to the article, it's sex and relationship. Sex and relationship. And according to the writer, I will not sleep with a man unless he spend $2,000 on me on the dates or multiple dates or whatever. So let me do this here real quick. Just bear with me. Here we go.
On me. Here's why. Published by New York Post. It's a question as old as time. How long should you wait before you sleep together? As a woman, this question is particularly tricky. Not because we're supposed to be ladies. That view died as soon as the Sex and the City girls knocked blokes over the head with the news that, yes, women enjoy getting jiggy with it just as much as they do. No, it's trickier for women because thanks to podcaster Joe Rogan, we've all heard about the frightful post-nut syndrome, PNS. Just in case you haven't, PNS involves a man experiencing some sort of guilt following climax, primarily over how they achieved orgasm. This feeling could be the result of having an affair, watching pornography, or hooking up with someone they don't actually have genuine feelings for. Rogan explains it best by saying, "You realize you made a mistake, especially if the woman is really into you, and you're really not into her and you're like, oh, I made an error. And then you do feel like an A*** hole, but I'm just being honest. I got tricked by genetics. So, trust me when I say, as a woman you don't want to be jumping into bed with a guy too early only for him to get the job done, experience PNS, and then vamoosh into thin air. I honestly think there is nothing more brutal than being ghosted after sex. Mortifying. So when I heard a brand new theory about how long you should wait before having sex, I leaned in. Now, quick disclaimer, when the answer was first put to me, I literally made the PFFFFT sound.
Poof.
Yes, be warned, it sounds ridiculous. But give it a second, and let the theory sink in and you may eventually come around to it. I discovered it last weekend during a road trip while listening to a great dating podcast by a woman called Tinks. Yes, fabulous name. She was going through a list of dating non-negotiables and casually mentioned that a friend of hers has now made a point of not sleeping with a guy until he has spent at least $2,000 on dates with her. Yes, you read that right, a whopping $2,000. Has no one heard of the cost of living crisis? No longer are we basing the decision on time, aka 3 to 5 dates. We're basing it on cash money? Specifically, $2,000. So, like I said, at first I was feeling a little outraged. Surely you can't hold a man to that? Plus, in this day and age, shouldn't we be paying for half the bill anyway? Okay, that's a debate for another day. But $2,000 on dates before you get Rudy-nudie seemed a little extreme, at first. Then I let my mind wander to the couple of gents I've jumped into bed with after 3 to 5 dates and I thought, sheesh, if I was living by that theory I could probably have avoided a couple of mistakes. The first reason why this new rule is kinda growing on me is that if a guy is willing to go on enough dates to warrant $2,000 out-of-pocket expense, then there's a fair chance the guy is properly invested in you. I mean, if a libido can withstand that many dates, then he's a keeper. Well, unless he is super loaded and can comfortably blow $2,000 on 1 to 2 dates. In that case, I say bugger it, jump right in. Joking. The second reason I like this rule, and I think most importantly, is spending that amount of time together without getting distracted by nakedness might actually help us get all those icks out of the way nice and early. For example, I went on a couple of dates with a guy last year and felt comfortable in my decision to sleep with him after 3 dates. On the 4th date, however, I discovered he still lets his mum do his laundry for him, he's in his late 30s, and calls rosé wine Rose. Eek, I can't be dating a man-child. Had I waited until we reached that $2,000 mark, I would have discovered all this long before he showed me his dad's bod and I could have walked away feeling slightly less guilty. Perhaps, if we want to be a little less, dare I say, shallow, rather than basing the decision on money, we could base it off a checklist instead. That checklist should include things like, what do they do for a job? Do they maintain basic adult responsibilities, like remembering to take the rubbish out, how to do laundry, can they cook a basic meal? Where do they live? Have they been to jail? If yes, what for? You may laugh at this one, but you would be surprised by a person's criminal history. Have they ever had an AVO? How long ago was their last relationship? Why did they break up? What's their take on contraception? Condoms should be a non-negotiable, people. Do you feel safe around them? Do you feel confident they will contact you the next morning? If you can answer all of the above, then you're welcome to pass go, collect your $2,000, and feel free to show him your woo-ha. Think of all the mistakes we could avoid if we just did a little more research. Lads, best be saving those pennies.
Well, hypergamy, I always say hypergamy is the worst and the best of women, right? It is the worst, the worst and the best of women because, you know, hypergamy. When you look at when you listen to the article, right, she's going out there in a hypergamy stage, right? Now, when she talked about dates, multiple dates, and have to be $2,000, right? A date is a date. You date, it's not guaranteed to have sex, right? But she having the standard of $2,000. You know what? If this chick, I would take her in dates. I have $2,000. I do. I would take her $2,000. Now McDonald's Big Mac meal is $18 in Connecticut and different places. So I would take her plus taxes. I would take her 100 date in McDonald's Big Mac meal. Just dates. She don't have to give me shit. Just dates. The notion of these chicks having a date in McDonald's is outrageous. It's outrageous to them. I'll take the challenge. I will take her 100 dates to McDonald's. Hypergamy is a fucking bitch, and these bitches do not understand what kind of trap they're walking in themselves into. You know? Inflation's out of control. Actually, if you think about it, into the standard $2,000 date is really easy. Shit. Get this bitch a cooked meal and stuff like that, or whatever, right? Take the bitch camping and do the math between gas and this and stuff. Whatever date it is, hey, it's a date, for heaven's sake. It's a date. The inflation is so out of control that $2,000 is cheap nowadays. So, in today's standard, it's unbelievable. In today's standard, $2,000 ain't shit. Ain't shit, man. It can get you not motherfucking thing. But just hoping by these so-called rules, right? Because you read. I mean, you heard the article, right? You read. I mean, you heard the article. I read the article, and you heard it, right? And she's going out there in an emotional clusterfuck. Oh, this, that, this, blah. But it wasn't no set rules. Because her mind, she can pick and choose, and whoever simp is going to go out there and spend $2,000, and let's say hypothetical speaking, I don't know how many dates they got to go through before she give out the pussy. But it got to be $2,000, so it could be one date on a expensive hotel, restaurant, or shit. $2,000, man. If you think about it, and let's put this in perspective. Let's say, hypothetical speaking, let's play this scenario, okay? She live in California. He live in Nevada. All right. Let's put this in perspective. Mathematical, easy. $2,000 date. Tell the bitch, come over here. I'll pay for your ticket, and we can have dates and stuff like that in Vegas or whatever. Vegas is cheap flight and stuff like that. So the date started when he paid the ticket, and the ticket probably gonna cost him $200. That's $200 down. And I'm being like really low ball shit. Just low balling this stuff. Okay, bitch. I live out here in Vegas. You live in Los Angeles, in California. Okay, I pay the ticket. That's right there. Boom, $200. Okay, bitch. We're gonna stay in this hotel for like one day. Let's put it one day. Date. $500-$600. There you go. No sex. Nothing. One day. It's only one day for a man. And I'm like really being conservative regarding to the money situation. Walk in the park and stuff and dinner. That's $30 or this and that. At the end of 2 days between Los Angeles and Nevada, this man has spent more than $2,000. More. That's how the purchasing power of the dollar has been demolished. But that's another subject. That's an economic subject. That's you know that's another that's another beast that we got to deal out here. Now, when it comes down to this chick, she better be like, literally, if a man gonna spend $2,000 on a chick, that pussy better spit out gold. Okay, it's no pussy really that good that a man can spend and I taste the pussy. And that's what these bitches do. They tease you and stuff. You gotta spend this amount and stuff. It's hypergamy. That's what we talk about this in the make stuff philosophy. It's hypergamy. If a man willing to spend $2,000 without just dates, literally, just dates, because in the article says that I will not sleep with a man unless he spend $2,000 on me. So let's say hypothetical speaking, a man spend $1,999. Is it guaranteed to get some pussy? No. If a man spend $2,000-$3,000, he's guaranteed to get the pussy in multiple days? No. It's not. They're not. But that's what we call it, simping. The simp will do that. Just to get let me get a little bit. Can I sniff that pussy? I'll pay you everything. You know? $2,000 and not even guarantee. Fuck off, bitch. Fuck off. $2,000 on dates and stuff and shit. Bullshit. Fuck off. If a man is very desperate to get some pussy, $50, $70, $100, $200, man, a hotel room, get you some pussy. That's why they got hookers out there and whores and shit. Why a man would spend $2,000 a multiple date is not guaranteed to get a pussy. Tell me, who does that shit? Simps. If a man want to get off, pay the bitch off. Give her 150, hotel room, and you get to come and shit. At least you get the real shit. Not these cock teasing shit, $2,000. Oh, my pussy is like this shit. And that, no, fuck off, bitch. Literally, fuck off. Nowadays, they got men with these sex dolls and shit. Fucking and sex, they get off. Hey, I ain't mad at these playboys out there fucking sex dolls. They get off. They coming at shit. It is what it is, man. I was being a fucking libertarian and come down to men's sexuality. Dude, your balls are full of nuts and cum and shit like that. If you want to bust a nut on a fucking sex doll, I'm not mad at you. If you want to bust your balls in a fucking whore, I'm not mad at you. If you want to, whatever the fuck you want to release yourself, I ain't mad at you. But this notion that all these bitches coming out there that you have to pay $2,000 in multiple dates and shit like that, it's not guaranteed your nuts is not going to get drained. Fuck them. Fuck them. There's no time for this. There's no time for this shenanigans and bullshit. Shit is fucking out of control. The money system is collapsing. And all these bitches demanding so much shit. Fuck them. MGTOW. Man, holding your own wallet. That's what you gotta do. You hold to that fucking wallet until whatever. For heaven's sake. Unbelievable. It's shenanigans. It's so much bullshit going on out here. My apologies. My bad, fellas. My bad. It's been a long week, It's been a long week and stuff like that. But I was compelled to put this podcast out here because out there, folks that put podcasts and stuff and sound bites and shit, but they don't talk the reality of the situation that we're living at. My shit been banned multiple times because I'm a realist. I talk shit how shit is. Literally. If it smells like shit, it is shit. If it smells like fish, it smells like pussy. And so on and so forth. I'm not here to cover the sun with my hand, for heaven's sake. I'm trying to be truthful of the situation that is happening in Western society. Nothing more, nothing less. That's it, gentlemen. That's it. Because I read the article, I played the soundbite, and I'm thinking to myself, this is nothing but bullshit and nonsense. But you have men out there who feel they got to pay these bitches multiple date and take them out dinner and take them out this shit, and then the bitch go out there, don't give her that pussy, and she's fucking somebody else. Meanwhile, this motherfucker got stuck with a bill. And he didn't even get to smell the pussy. Real shit, man. Real talk. Man guarding the wallet. That's it. Well, gentlemen, it was a pleasure hanging out tonight, It was a pleasure hanging out and stuff like that. And these Saturday and stuff like that. Well, what the hell? I'm in here for 25 minutes. I usually put it like 30-minute podcast and stuff like that. So what the fuck, right? Just bear with me, gentlemen. Just bear with me. Let me get my pipa, my pipe. I want to smoke these marijuana. By the way, smoking cannabis is illegal in different states, but out here in the Pacific Northwest and different states, it's legal. So I'm on a legal ground, and it's just for the algorithms and the AI and all this stuff with cocktail and stuff like that. So I'm just putting this warning label. I always put a warning label, you know. But obviously, there's no freedom of speech in this platform anymore. But anyhow, let me grab the pipa and I'll be right back. Let me see what I got here. Let me see. Just bear with me. God damn it. Just bear with me. Oh, I remember this shit went head into the hem basket. Let me see something real quick. Just bear with me, man. I'm dealing with cheap equipment and stuff like that. Here we go. All right. If you want to hear live stream podcasts live, uninterrupted, truth shit, welcome home, baby. Welcome home, motherfuckers. My deepest apologies, gentlemen. My deepest apology, but not really. I had to use the John real quick and stuff like that, and get a pipa. Tonight, cannabis is. Let me see what we smoking tonight. What we got here? Let's see. The label's so small nowadays. Oh, we smoking Scarface. Yep, Scarface. So let's put Scarface right here. And then I'm gonna play one of my shit that I love by Bar, but I did my own remix with it, with music and stuff like that, and that's how the live stream is gonna go out. So just bear with me. Let's light up this puppy up. A little bit of the cold and stuff like that, so don't mind that though. It's all good. And here we go. Let me start my shit here. Here we go.
The Western skank isn't going to be safe.
So with this, I'm going to call off the live stream. So here we go. So hit it with the intro, maestro.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government.
I find it ironic that the tool of feminism and the feminists that employ it is by far the most odious form of oppression, not just for men, but for women as well. Now, don't get me wrong. Men suffer far more under the iron curtain of Marxist feminism, but for some odd reason, women seem to be more miserable than ever. And that's because the worst thing Western women could have done is to bog themselves down in the tar pits chasing the feminist fantasy that speaks to the very worst parts of the female psyche. Indeed, the entire reason that women have been such a privileged class throughout history is because only the good parts of her nature were displayed openly in society for everyone to see. Feminism, for the first time possibly in recorded history, has allowed Western women to show their true nature, and it's the worst possible thing they could have done for themselves because now the physical beauty of women comes as a double-edged sword of documented and well-known, unbridled greed, manipulation, and toxicity. And not since the days of Samson and Delilah have men been so keenly aware of the destruction and havoc women can visit upon them. And so now, women can no longer fetch the admiration and devotion of men in any meaningful way. Men aren't amazed or awestruck when we look at women. Men are suspicious and cautious and frankly want as little to do with women as possible. And when men want as little to do with something as possible, we strip down our interaction with it to the necessities, which means that men generally only want to be around women for as long as it takes to fuck them. And feminism and the women who practice it are to blame, not men. Feminism made women absolutely unbearable to be around and impossible to form lasting bonds with, and so by default, men categorized you as nothing but the very sex objects feminists claim the patriarchy labeled you as. That's why the Western woman is so intent on making sure everybody notices her outfit that showed just enough ass and tits for plausible deniability. At work, on the street, in the supermarket, at the DMV, at Blockbuster, and everywhere else. Because sex is all they are. They have nothing else. Ass and tits and painted up faces that make them look like clowns and heels that make them look taller than what they really are. That's all they have left. Now, some of the more perceptive Western women are starting to realize the size and scope of the trap they've been tricked into laying for themselves, but it really doesn't matter whether they see it or not. Because for the first time, men are on the precipice of adopting a line of thought that sticks a collective middle finger in the faces of Western femdom as a whole and tells them that this time, you're digging yourselves out of your own mess. The manginas that haven't figured out how much the very women they grovel to despise them aren't going to save you. You may have government catching you with their safety nets, but in reality, all they can really do for you is throw more money at the symptoms of your misery. The feminist governments in the West are so good at hiding the fact that they're such a huge part of the cause of the Western woman's sickness that she believes government to be the cure for it. The Western skank isn't going to be saved by the hordes of doctors scripting her more antidepressants than ever, and she isn't going to be saved by going to church and expecting men to believe that that makes them somehow cleanse of the stench of the long list of men in her past. God may forgive your degeneracy, but men still know what you are, what you've done, and more importantly, who you've done, so you'll have to excuse us if we really aren't in the mood to accommodate reformed whores that want to be housewives. But even more than that, men don't even want housewives anymore. Because after a half-century of feminism, the only real result I can see is that women have lost their luster and retain only a fraction of the appeal they held in the days of fabricated oppression and patriarchy. And the worst part for them is that the fraction of appeal they've managed to hold on to, i.e. their pussies, depreciates in value with age and with use by other men. It's truly a sad state of affairs for Western women, but I can't say I really feel sorry for them, and that's because there's a new species of man emerging from the primordial ooze of the gender war. The post-feminism man, a type of man that terrorizes feminists because he refuses to serve, he refuses to bow, and he does what he wants to do. The post-feminism man isn't worried about pleasing women because he sees any woman that isn't pleased with him as insignificant. He has a hair trigger mechanism ingrained into every fiber of his being that simultaneously and reflexively identifies and detaches him from any female he's involved with that gives him even one iota of feminist bullshit. He doesn't uphold, maintain, or pursue relationships. He's seen enough relationships to know that the ship is sinking. He isn't a partisan. He understands the futility of believing that the White House or the halls of Congress or Parliament or wherever his politicians conduct business are anything other than the ground zero epicenters of feminist power and influence. The post-feminism man is a nice guy, thug, a bad boy, or an educated man, or whatever. He isn't concerned with providing for or banging child support-obsessed baby mamas, and he recognizes these two groups of men as nothing more than two warring factions of men grandstanding and vying for access to used-up pussy. He's not a race, he's not a sperm donor, he's not an ATM machine, or anything else. The only thing that the post-feminism man irrefutably is and will be is what he's always been. Just a man, ready and willing and fully equipped to withstand and confront Marxist feminism on all of its fronts.
Gentlemen, peace. Oh, I don't know what days came out. Gentlemen, peace. Stay MGTOW. I'll definitely catch you next podcast, live stream, video, Rumble, all this stuff. The new year is about to pop off. And it's about to be more crazy. Stay MGTOW. I'm out.